Damn.
Your sword comes up, swings back. You feel it connect, not with the metal of his breastplate or his shoulders, but through the softer, more pliable leather just between his ribs. You feel it dig in, skating past bone as you draw first blood.
Tis I, DM Daddy RPG, on the mend from sickness, which is why you may have missed us the rest of this weekend, but I'm not in charge today, so we can have a game. It's perfect. No idea either. Stuff. Social medias. Yeah, that's important. I'm all here. We're going to do out of order. YouTube, if you haven't watched us over on YouTube, please consider coming over to YouTube and checking things out there. We have all of our previous games, of course, now that I'm... all of our previous games are all over there. Yeah, all of them, except for like the two back before it became DM Daddy RPG. We've got a lot of World of Darkness, a lot of different variety stuff, a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse. All of it's fun, all of it's entertaining, all of it's good times. We are very active over on our Discord. Please come swing through the Discord. Discord's where we do all of our talking about games, where we put up the votes for what the next games of the season will be, as well as signing up for our games. So come over to our Discord community, join us, become one of us, join our Not a Cult. Speaking of the Not a Cult, Patreon. Patreon is how we fund all of these shenanigans. It's how we get our books for the players. It's how we pay for art, merch, etc., all that's done on Patreon. You get all kinds of lovely things like free channel redeems, like Kelly uses every Sunday to brick us. Yeah, great times. And with all that done, my power is relinquished. Take it away, Jen.
Consider it taken. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you're watching this, we are joined by DM Daddy as Jason Wilde.
Daddy loves you.
Glenn Dizzle as Timothy Edgewood. Chef aka Corhall as Bjorn Barrow. And this week we are joined by Artie Do 2 as Verso Amani.
Hey, ring of the bell.
Your accent is already 50 times better than mine is. 2 words.
It's only 2 words though. It's hard to get 2 words wrong. We're gonna start with recaps for the 3 that were here with us, and then I'm gonna have you introduce Verso. Tell us who he is, where he's been, how long he's lived. But for recaps, we're gonna start off with Bjorn. What happened last week?
Just a normal week. Let's see, I was at the office a little bit, did some fishing. Found out that a very, very dear lady friend of mine is opening up a new restaurant called Oaxaca Palace, which we might need to look at the name, but the food is decidedly on point. Let's see. After that, we had dinner, flirted shamelessly, went back to her place. I got stabbed several times. Put a shotgun or shell or 2 through a guy's midsection. And then got a nice threatening anonymous text, which is my least favorite kind of text. I don't even mind that it's threatening, but it's anonymous. It just has like GPS locations.
Interesting.
And now I get to try to explain why there's a guy missing like a great big chunk of his torso to whatever people heard the multiple shotgun blasts.
Oh well. In the category of people who also have to explain some stuff to authorities somewhere at some point. Tim, say what happened.
Things happened. There was a lot of things. I was playing a VR game nice and innocently. It was supposed to be some sort of PR stunt. And then this dude comes at me with a sword. And it's kind of rude.
Not in this game.
Not in this life. But no, I was in trouble. And good old Jason, he stepped up. He did the covering fire. He did awesome.
Hey, Jason. What happened?
So the kid was out wandering the streets, doing some
He got
double,
all the way back.
some double life thing. I don't know, but I argue repeatedly that we shouldn't just be out in the streets. But whatever. He gets a phone call. Some stupid event. We go shopping. We get burgers. I say it's kind of weird that neither of your parents want to come with you to this. Is like try to reinforce maybe you should spend more time with his parents. You don't know how much time you got with them. So on and so forth. We go to the thing. Game looks crappy, but whatever. He's the first one for some reason who gets to go try it out. The assistant to some billionaire tech guy keeps trying to separate us. It's not going to happen. And then while he's mid-game, a secret door pops open and tech billionaire guy comes at him with the sword, so I shoot him. And he keeps coming at him with the sword, actually hits him, so I put him down with a bullet to his head. And then he gets back up. So I shoot him again. And then the kid tries to take his head off with his own sword, and I scoop the kid, and we bail. And I call the cops.
Yay.
Yay.
Verso, when we get started with you, you're going to have been in New York City for about 24 hours.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself.
Alright, so Verso is he was an Italian knight once upon a time, still is, considers himself to be. He's also a war veteran now, because he continues to fight for his country despite knights being a thing of the past. He was born in 1501, died in 1525 in the Battle of Pavia, and came back as an immortal. So he's a little over 500 years old now, and he spends his time like being in Italy.
School teacher.
He works jobs as a school teacher, whether it's a librarian, a coach, a linguistics teacher teaching kids English, some Spanish. And then on the side, when he's not doing any of that, he's LARPing in his good old trusty armor and sword.
Perfect.
And making all the newbies really scared.
Perfect. A couple of housekeeping things in terms of like hurts and heals. Heals obviously will heal. Hurts, because we ended up making them pretty hard for the fight last time. They might either be points of damage or disadvantage on rolls.
Okay.
So everyone gets a disadvantage on their first roll for the night. Might as well just jot that down.
Okay.
Pairs will either be an advantage on a roll or half a point of spirit/hero points, which is kind of what they use to level up between levels. That's just going to be however I feel at the time. Unless you specific something, and then you can tell me what to do however you want to tell me to do it. Any questions? Okie doke. So I think we're going to start because we have a little bit of wrapping up to do before jumping into the next day. I'm going to start back in New York City.
Okay.
The event venue has been secured by a league of police cars and police officers. Everyone has been kind of held in place. No one is allowed to leave yet. Especially Timothy and Jason, you have been escorted to a side office room in the venue. You've been told to wait for a detective. There are 2 officers outside of the door holding. You want to talk before anything else happens?
How soundproof is the room?
It's a standard office. There doesn't seem to be any extra special precautions taken, but it's not paper thin walls.
So before we talk to the police and give our reports, is there anything you want to tell me? Like, why a billionaire tech edgelord was attacking you with a sword?
That is a good question. I have never met him before. Have I met him before? I don't think I have.
You did taunt him.
That was only after he swung at me.
Okay, so for no explainable reason, he just decided to attack you. All right, that's fine.
Are you trying to be deceptive at this point, Tim?
Yeah.
Can you roll me deception?
With disadvantage.
That's all right, because Jason's about to roll insight with the disadvantage too.
Yep.
Insight, is that what it is on here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
Break out of the way.
core. There we go. Okay. It's like my sheet changed. I don't like it. Got it. You said insight?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll just roll it twice for the disadvantage.
Tied.
I did the defender.
Yeah, Jason, you don't really believe him because it doesn't make any sense, but you don't have a reason not to believe
Yeah, I
him.
literally was going to tell you, like, wasn't going to insight check that, because
We're warming
whatever.
up.
Whatever, the disadvantage is out of the way, so it's a good thing. All right.
Paving the way for more harms, it's fine.
You want to tell me why you tried to pick up his sword and cut off his head?
Because your bullets didn't put him down, and I was making sure he didn't keep coming after me.
You could have done anything less strenuous than try to chop off his head.
With what?
You could have, I don't know, stabbed him in the heart.
I didn't have well, I had a sword.
Yeah.
I just grabbed and swung.
So in your frantic attempts to defend yourself, you picked up the sword and hit him with it. We're leaving out the part that he was already down.
Because he got back up the first
No,
time.
we're leaving that part out too, because that just makes us sound crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
I follow now, yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple knocks at the door.
I'll open it.
It's a middle-aged gentleman, deeper skin tone, kind of salt and pepper beard and hair, just wearing a t-shirt with a suit jacket, badge across his neck, like in one of those little necklace holder boys.
I'll stand out of the way for him to come in.
He nods, steps on inside.
Close the door
Introduces
behind
himself.
him.
Gentlemen, I am Detective Baker of the 23rd Precinct.
How you doing tonight, sir?
Well, I thought it was going to be a nice quiet night.
Same.
He circles around, just takes a seat at the desk. It's obviously not his desk, but he looks pretty at home behind it. Pulls out a notepad, kind of casually tosses it onto the desk, like he doesn't intend to take really, really detailed notes. So who wants to go first? It seems like you are two of the only three people who seem to know what happened tonight.
Timmy just kind of looks over to Jason.
Jason's just looking at the detective.
Mr. Edgewood, where are your parents?
They are back at our place.
Did you call them?
I haven't yet because I didn't have my phone
Where's your phone?
in our car.
Why did you leave the phone in the car?
Because it was going to be loud and there's no point in having it.
How is
You're
this?
all-
How is this relevant to the attack on my charge?
You weren't really answering any questions, so I'm asking my own. How old are you?
I'm 11.
11. I have a 12-year-old son. I think he would stop living or breathing without his phone. I received a report of an assault by a sword. That brought all of us out here tonight. What happened?
Kid was testing out their new game in the private booth. A secret door opened up on the opposite side of the wall from the couches, and the tech billionaire, whose event this is, came out with a sword and attacked Timothy Edgewood while he was playing the game
Okay. With a sword.
with a sword.
And then what?
I shot him.
How many times? How many times did you fire?
Doing mental math. So, suppressing fire. 19. Reload. I fired a total of 20 rounds.
20 rounds. And you shot him, for sure.
Twice.
You shot him for sure twice. Where?
Center mass. 3 times, sorry. Center mass, head.
Interesting. You saw him bleed? You saw him go down?
Correct.
Hijinks aside, I'm not gonna play the drama here. You both are going home tonight. No repercussions for whatever it is that went down here. But we've already spoken to this billionaire tech mogul. And he says he hasn't seen either of you tonight.
Huh.
Whatever prank, whatever game this was, cut the shit. Not in my city. Do you understand?
We'll keep our nose clean.
Mr. Wild?
Understand, I don't understand anything about what happened tonight, but I will do as you say.
He pulls a card out from his wallet for each of you, slides it across the table. You, kid, you're stuck here until your parents come to get you. So, if you need an officer to go to your car, Mr. Wild, to pick up his phone, I'll send an officer with you.
I don't need an officer to accompany me. Pull out my phone and hand it to the kid to call his parents.
Beep, 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 beep.
Couple of rings. Yeah.
Hi, Mom. I need permission to be able to leave with. I need you to tell this kind officer that I have permission to leave with Jason.
What did you do?
No, it was nothing serious.
Fine, whatever.
I'm going to put you on speaker.
Fine, whatever. Hi, officer. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. Is my Timmy okay? Just kind of. Yeah, yes, ma'am. We're gonna actually need you to come down to address here to pick him up. He can only be released into the custody of his parents or legal guardians, but I believe Mr. Wild here isn't his legal guardian. Isn't that right, Mr. Wild?
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, we're at a party? Like, how serious is this exactly? Mr. Wild, can you not just, bring him home?
I am willing and able, but I do not believe I am allowed.
Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. It's gonna take us maybe like 45 minutes. Are you okay to hang out with him, I guess, for 45 minutes?
Hey, Jen. Can I make a persuasion check to try to work my way through this to help along?
You can.
With
It's
my,
gonna be kind of difficult.
with my pulling strings.
What does that do?
Let's see. I don't think it. I know how to wheedle favors from others and gain advantage on charisma checks to receive special privileges, such as backstage access, tickets sold at concert, meeting with special public officials. I know that it's usually, but I've got another thing I can use if that.
What's the other thing?
I can. Well, I've got a couple other things. I've got powerful friends, where I can speak with people of power and influence after a few phone calls. Or I can just use my basic charm from Charming Hero, where I can make a charisma check, but I can add my influence die to it.
Okay.
Sir, you know, this would be a terrible thing for them to try to leave their event. Honestly, I think there might be a sizable donation to the police force. We can go ahead and try to get out of here. If you just let me leave with Mr. Wild.
Yeah, oh my gosh, officer, we are actually at a charity event for in New York. It's a sheriff's association thing. We made a huge donation to them, and I mean, if the NYPD is a little lacking in funds, we can maybe. Anyway, what I'm saying is, we can't really. It'd be beneficial if we didn't get pulled away from exactly what we're doing right now. Mr. Wild has been taking care of our precious Timmy for months now, and he does an amazing job, and he will make sure he gets safe just fine. And I'll give you our number, and we can chat in the morning. How is that? Go ahead and roll with advantage.
I literally was like, how is that? Let's see.
Go ahead. Do the thing as I break my chair.
Second.
Ha!
Oh, you're lucky you had that advantage. Let me tell you.
NYPD don't play.
The detective kind of sits there for a few seconds. Maybe he's shooting off a text with his phone. And then he nods, reaches out, picks up his notebook, stuffs it back into the inside of his jacket pocket. All right, Miss Edgewood. You and I can talk tomorrow. I'll let Timmy leave with his bodyguard tonight. But we're gonna have a nice long talk tomorrow.
Okay.
Go.
Take my phone back from Timmy. Hang up. Thank you for your time, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Escort Timmy back to parking garage.
As soon as it gets back, wires, make sure to do a wire transfer to the NYPD. I'll follow through.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you've got their wire transfer number.
I'm going to leave Timmy in the stairwell, and I'm going to go check the car to make sure it's not booby-trapped or anything, because there's a crazy billionaire guy who apparently can't die.
Cool. Roll either security or perception.
We'll go with security. Because, nope. Until he's safely in home, he is still under threat, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
You said security or what?
Or perception.
Hope that's good enough.
As far as you can tell, everything is exactly as you left it.
It's fine.
I'm going to get in the car, and I am going to turn it on.
It turns on.
Doesn't go boom?
Doesn't go boom.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe it's a good thing we did go over to the garage rather than the
Yeah.
valet.
Weird, almost like it's tactical or something. I'm sorry. I will go recollect Timmy and drive him home.
You stay there for the night.
I live there. We established
Sure.
that. We established that last episode.
That doesn't mean you stay there.
I stay there,
Okay.
especially if his mom and dad are. Especially if his mom and dad aren't home.
Nothing else will happen that night. Mom and dad get home real late.
Was it the
Also,
number I gave the sheriff?
kind of drunk.
Was, my own.
Okay. Real late, little drunk. Is there any conversation you definitely want to have, or?
There's one thing that I'm definitely going to do.
Okay.
Once we get back home, I'm checking the wound on his back.
What wound?
The one where he was cut across his back that I patched up.
Now, I haven't spent any hit dice or anything. Would it have been
It's
healed up
gone.
yet?
Yeah, because you're immortal.
I didn't know how the healing worked.
It's
The
real
most
fast.
inconvenient way
Oh my-
possible in this
Am I
case.
back to full?
You are all back to full.
Okay. I still have myself down.
Not gonna say anything, not gonna like draw any attention to it, just gonna like look and be like, Alright. Have a good night, kid.
Just kind of goes into his room, closes the door.
And Jason will spend the rest of the night and be like, real life super fast healing question mark, Google searching rabbit holes and tabloids and stuff.
Tiger Eye is like a great crystal for healing quickly.
Yeah, I did use Tiger's Eye, and there's none on his person. Next tab.
Over in Portland, we are not going to go into teeny tiny details. But
real quick. You have 2 harms, 2 cares, and 4 cares. So 6 cares, 2 harms. All of them are random.
over in Portland, like I said, we're not gonna do the teeny tiny minutia of the resolution of the last scene. However, I have a couple of questions. Question number 1. Do you plan to leave and go to the location you were given?
Eventually, but not immediately.
Okay.
So, first thing I would do is look up where the GPS location I was given is. You know, is this like Australia? Is this like 2 blocks down the road?
New York City.
Friggin' course it is. Haven't been back there for quite a long time. Almost like it was on purpose or something. Okay. Secondly, since Grace has also been threatened, I would check on her too.
Okay.
Or that's at least a phone call.
Okay. And was there anything else?
For your first question, I'd probably leave after a day or 2. But I'd get there. Yeah. I mean, I'd get there with a few days ahead of time. So let's say, like, if it's a Wednesday, I'd probably try to catch a flight on Friday.
Okay. So you call Grace. She doesn't answer right away. Do you leave a message?
I leave a somewhat urgent but nondescript message. Hey, I just wanted to check in with you. I've had some kind of rough stuff happening recently, and I just really want to make sure that everybody I care about is okay. Can you please just call me back whenever you get this? Nobody's hurt, but just want to check in. Love you. Bye.
You would know that Grace works as a photographer for some major publications. She's out of the country almost as often as she is in the country. And the last you knew, she was headed out of the country to do some work in the Middle East. She was expecting to come back at some point this week or next week, but she didn't have an exact day yet in mind. So you don't necessarily have to worry.
I don't have to worry, but even just an I'm okay text would soothe my mind. I would make a point of sending it to, like, if she has like a Google phone that she can access from anywhere, I would try to send it to that number so that way whenever she gets it, she can get it.
Okay.
Just because I don't really know what international roaming does to cell phones. My day, you just send out a pigeon.
Okay. How long do you give it?
It's nighttime here. It's probably early morning there. I give it till the next morning. Like till Thursday morning. Just to try to make sure, like, I don't know what she's doing. You know, if she's in the Middle East, especially right now, things are kind of hectic, things are kind of crazy. I'm not expecting an immediate reply. That's just not realistic for anybody.
Okay. If you wait about 12 hours, you're not going to receive a response in that time.
I would send a follow-up text,
Okay.
but I'm not going to push it. Right now, the further she is from me, the safer she is as far as I can tell.
Okay. So you wait until Friday.
After getting everything squirreled away with work, making sure that I've explained everything to the constabulary, trying to talk Angela off of the what the hell just happened, how come you're not bleeding, it wasn't as bad as it looks conversation.
I mean, you know what? Just for funsies, I'm gonna have you roll persuasion or deception, just to see how that conversation went. Remember, you're at a
Okay.
disadvantage. Okay.
Yeah.
Good disadvantage.
She missed most of the
Deception's
fight.
+7. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. She missed most of the fight, so it's pretty easy, and you're pretty sure that you managed to convince her that most of the blood on you wasn't yours. Like, everything went so fast, they didn't get a chance to hurt you. By the time she really had a chance to stop panicking and look at it, it was already mostly healed.
Okay.
She didn't have too hard of a time.
Right. I'm assuming I checked the I'm going to say that I at least checked the pockets of the guys who tried to kill me.
They had some zip ties, some duct tape, like just the address written on a piece of paper, and that's it. They didn't even have their phones on them.
Okay. I wasn't expecting much, but that at least expresses a certain level of professionalism. Those knives that they were carrying, are we talking like K-bars? Are we talking like buoys? These are things that are like designed primarily for fighting mortals, or designed for like with a saw blade edge to try to take out somebody like me?
They're kind of disposable, like K-bar knockoffs that you could get in the hunting section of Walmart.
Okay. But nothing to indicate that they knew what I was or were prepared for someone like me.
I mean, they didn't carry a sword.
Okay.
If you want to roll insight, I'll let you roll insight to kind of criminal minds them.
I'll roll it just to see what happens, but I'm not expecting much from this.
Okay. It wasn't super high-end equipment, so it doesn't seem like it's something they necessarily use often, and the way that they tossed the house was haphazard and didn't really feel like it had rhyme or reason.
Okay.
So they weren't too worried about being caught, nor were they too worried about whatever they were going to find. Their whole goal seems to be more or less to put on a show and just leave whatever they had to behind to get away.
Okay. And they had multiple sets of zip ties?
They each had a set of zip ties and duct tape.
Okay.
They each had
Okay.
some knives.
All right. All right. Well, that's very leading, which means it's very not. Okay. No, okay. I try to see if anybody I know like would have a way of figuring out who that number was from. I don't know, like, is there a star 69 or a star 71 or whatever that somebody...
Who would you ask to do that?
Let's see. I don't know if that's the problem. I don't really know of anybody who would really have that kind of skill who's in the
That
country.
is the problem.
So I would look up on YouTube to see if there is a Google search to see is there a way to do this, to find out who's sending you messages from a block number.
And roll me computers.
Come on, Google.
You come up with a handful of tips and tricks to try to trace down the number. None of them are successful.
Google, you have failed me. All right. In that case, I would try to make sure I would take Angela to my place Um, it's a, yeah, it's my place outside of town, and let her just stay there until all this blows over or whatever. And
On Friday, while you are on the way to the airport.
okay,
I'm assuming you're taking a plane, or are you driving for some reason?
I was taking a plane.
Okay. On the way to the airport, Grace finally calls you back.
Hey,
Hey, Barrow, what's going on?
okay. So this is going to sound kind of weird.
Hit me.
Promises. So we were at Angela's place last night, or 2 nights ago, and there were 2 guys who had broken into her house, and one of them tried to put a knife at me a couple times. And I got a message.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. That's the thing. I'm not saying I don't deserve it. I'm saying I don't know who.
Okay,
I got a text message. Yeah. I got a message saying that that you may be next.
Well, I am still halfway across the world, so
I know. And
wouldn't worry too much about that.
well, Farrelling, I love you, therefore I'm going to worry. It's kind of what I do.
If they don't know I'm not even in the United States, then they don't know that much about me.
I'm not going to try to pretend what they do or don't. However, I would be extremely remiss of me not to let you know as soon as I could that there has been an active threat against you and somebody has drawn my blood in the attempt already.
I appreciate that. Danger doesn't scare me, though.
I know. It's one of the many reasons I like you.
So what are you doing?
I'm gonna go try to trace this lead down and figure out exactly who's got what after me and why.
Okay. Trace it down, meaning what?
Meaning I was given a location in New York City a couple days from now.
Okay.
I don't know who this is, and I don't know why. But
Okay. Do you...
I mean, I
So you're going?
don't really have much of a choice.
All right.
Whoever
Do you,
this
need
is, be able,
do you need a place to stay? I can get you a hotel room.
I think I can grab one, but right now the one thing I need is to know that you and Angela are safe. And also any help you can give me on trying to run this down and figure out who the hell this is that I may be running into. I'm not saying I haven't pissed people off in my life. I'm saying I don't. Normally they're pretty straightforward about it. I don't know what you can do from, I don't know, Baghdad, Marrakesh, where are you? I don't even know where you are.
I could tell you how, bud.
I know. So
I can get you a hotel room. I can make some calls. I can...
Do you know how to track down a number that's been blocked? Like, backtrack a text from a blocked number?
I can make some calls.
Okay.
But my concern right now is I know where to find you if I need you.
I'll have my phone on me. I'll be in New York, and yes, I will go to the hotel you recommend. So that way you can find me if you need me.
I at least know I can trust the people there.
I'm sorry, you broke up?
I at least know I can trust the people there.
Well, that's definitely a lot more than I
trust
know.
the people there.
Kind of where I was going with that, yeah.
All right.
When you get back into town, who knows? I might even be able to have lunch with you.
Fly safe. Is your ID valid?
Yes.
Do you want to roll insight real quick?
As far as he knows, he's telling the truth, but let's roll it.
Just an innocent question.
Hmm?
Just a question.
Just
All
a
right.
question.
I'll make some arrangements. And what time's your flight?
In about 2 hours.
2 hours. Ooh. And you're not at security? Hurry it up.
I'm in a cab.
By the time you land, I will have a room set up for you. Okay.
Thank you. And so you know, Angela's at my house just because her place is a crime scene.
Okay. I'll make some calls on Portland too. See if I can get her somewhere else that isn't your place.
You know, I don't mind.
It's not minding. If they're looking for you, they know where you live, probably.
Yes, which is why I'm surprised they didn't have somebody at my house.
Well, you received the message, didn't you?
Yes, after someone tried to stab me.
That was the message. I'm guessing that was the message.
I'm
You
assuming
received it.
so.
You know what? Just get on the plane. I'll get you the address. Please be safe.
I don't deserve a woman as wonderful as you with my life.
You deserve something.
That's what I'm afraid of. Love you.
Love you.
See you in a little bit.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Verso, is this your first time in New York City?
You know what? We're gonna say no. We've been here a few times in the last 500 years.
Few
Just a
times.
few. If anything, we're already wearing our, would you say I'm in knight armor or
Oh, I would.
like average clothes? I mean, I would love to.
I would say you are. In fact,
Yes, please.
something very special has brought you to New York City this week. A LARP.
Hell yeah.
It is called Battaglia dell'Amore. The Battle of Love. Loosely based on an actual event surrounding Joan of England, the Queen of Sicily, based in the late 12th century, before you were born even. And the story, she has recently been secreted off somewhere after her husband is out of the picture. Her brother, Richard I, is desperately trying to find the scoundrels who have taken her, return her to her homeland, and perhaps find her a new suitor. Verso, what character are you playing in this LARP?
Me.
You're just playing yourself?
Yeah.
Do you give yourself a different name, or are you just Verso? Sir Verso.
Sir Verso.
Perfect.
There's so much Inception happening right now.
Yo, Verso.
Verso.
We are probably a day or so into this 3-day event. Your tasks include speaking to other knights and townsfolk to get more information about the potential whereabouts of Joan of England. You are to gather allies to back you in the potential claim for her hand in marriage, and you are to get any information you gather back into the hands of her brother Richard I. You know, you've been to LARPs before. Probably the 3rd day of this event will culminate in a big battle to rescue Joan from her captors. And maybe, just maybe, she will choose herself a worthy potential marriage. What are your goals for the LARP?
I mean, I'm not gonna say no if she asks. The goals are to be righteous and to be true and to serve the kingdom to the best of my ability and to return the princess to her rightful throne alongside her brother. And to perhaps make some new allies along the way.
Beautiful. I'm going to have you for a little warm up, and remember this one's at a disadvantage. I'm going to have you roll persuasion or performance to see how well you've gathered information, pulled together allies the first night of this LARP.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, I mean, you can't get much lower than that.
No.
So this first night, you have kind of just been
It's
talking
fine.
shop with the other fake knights, dazzling them with tales you have maybe and maybe not completely made up on the spot. You've gotten your armor shined, gotten, your hair done, just in case the Queen of Sicily is into Sir Verso. You are ready. You have not touched the main plot whatsoever. But you're ready to just dive right in.
Yeah, we've settled. Now we're ready.
There we go. This
That
is
helmet is clipped fastly to the waist because there's no way we're gonna ruin this hair with helmet hair unless
Not-
we have to.
ever. What does Verso look like? So we can get the full picture.
Shoot, I really wanted to make him in Hero Forge, but I had 0 time. He's tall, like a buff string bean. I know that's what Jesse was described of, but think of buffer.
Like Jared
Sturdier.
Padalecki. That's my buff string bane mental image.
Like he's not a bodybuilder, but he's tough. And he's got a little bit of a wave to his hair, goes just below his ears, dark brown hair. I think I said he had hazel or green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And olive skin. He's got a charming, soft face, but also a nice jawline.
Perfect.
And he's wearing armor that is just about, it's from the 1500s and all, but it's a little more like fine-tuned and stuff. Over the years, he's added a bit more to it and made it a little more bombastic.
Beautiful.
Instead of historically accurate, it is what is modern day considered to be what was historically accurate.
It's a mix of both.
So this LARP is laid out across the mid-park area of Central Park. Primarily on the Great Lawn, there are like huge tents where people have some of them have decided to camp during the night. They had to have special permits. It was a whole thing. Would you have decided to camp?
Yes.
Perfect. So you have a tent somewhere on this Great Lawn. There's all kinds of vendors, both real vendors and fake vendors, to talk to. It goes all the way to the reservoir and to like the back of the Metropolitan Museum. Like it is a huge expanse of property, which is good because like you paid $875 for this LARP. Like you were getting your money's worth.
Yeah, and the plane ticket.
And the plane ticket. So you get up, you got a full day and night and ahead of you. What do you want to tackle first?
All right. Well, now that we've settled and we've seen a few friendly faces, I think we're gonna go and try and delve into this plot now and see if we can't find some information on the fair princess.
Perfect. Where do you think you would start?
I'm gonna start in the kingdom and then move to the houses just outside the kingdom. Like the
Perfect.
castle, I mean. It's all the kingdom.
So I'll give you the opportunity. You can talk to some royal guards if you'd like. You can talk to just an everyday, like the royal kitchen bread maker. Or you can talk to another knight. Some fellow LARPers. See what they've managed to figure out so far.
Okay. We're gonna talk to the guards first.
All right. So you approach a couple of the royal guards as they stand outside the royal tent. Not everyone is permitted access to the royal tent, and neither are you. They kind of cross their little lances to stop you from entering. Halt! Who goes there?
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Now that the time has come, it's like my accent. I don't know if I can do it. Do I go for it or do I not? Because it's gonna suck if I do.
Give it a shot.
Do it, coward.
Do it.
I'm just saying, you could go really meta, and if it's super bad, like he's forgotten how to really do it.
Okay. Oh shit. Don't stop staring at me, Matt.
You can do it.
Oh god.
Break
I am
away.
a verso. I have come in search of the royal princess.
Aren't we all, knight?
Shit.
What have you come here for? They both kind of like trade like awkward glances with each other, like, do we miss a memo? I don't know who this dude is.
I have come in search of information.
Yes,
Wondering
yes.
if you maybe had seen something the night that the princess had disappeared.
If we've seen anything the night she disappeared, yes. As like one of them like clanks around in his little like side satchel to like pull out notes that he's written for himself. On the night of Her Majesty's disappearance, we heard a commotion in the palace hallway. There were 3 sets of footsteps, and 3 sets of voices. We could not understand what they were saying. They were from a foreign land. And then we heard our Majesty call out for help. Folds up the paper and puts it back in his pouch.
Sorry, I'm making notes for myself.
Losing it.
And what did you do?
Me, Sir Knight, we were not there. Those who heard this have been... What's the word? What's the word for, like, being arrested, but, like, not arrested? Detained!
Detained. I don't know if I could do this. All right, we're gonna skip the accent for now.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
We're gonna say he's doing an English one for the sake of LARPing, because I can't do it.
2 cares for Artie in chat.
Bless. She deserves
you.
them.
He said He said that 2 people were detained.
The guards that overheard were detained.
We're detained. Okay.
If you would like to speak to the guards who were detained, you must first speak to the head of the dungeons.
Well then, please lead the way.
I'm not allowed to leave the spot, but like, if you wish to speak to the Lord of the Dungeons, you can find him over there by the beer hall.
The
It's not
old
real
meat
beer.
pen.
You have to like go to one of the bars like outside of the park if you want real beer.
Okay, there's just the one.
The Lord of the Dungeon is by the beer hall.
All right, thank you, good sir, for your time. Stay vigilant, and have a lovely day.
God save the Queen.
God save.
I just want to say this event sounds way better than this VR stuff.
Wouldn't it be God Save the King?
They paid $875 for this LARP.
It's my favorite line.
Every penny. Worth every penny.
Every single penny.
And off you go to find
Off we go
the
Every
dungeon.
pence.
Lord
on a
Master
grand
Head.
adventure. See the Lord of the Dungeon.
Timmy, Jason, what you got going on the next day?
Well, I'm assuming we're going to be getting either a call or a visit from NYPD.
Well, your parents do.
I want to bring them up to speed on what happened.
What all do you tell them?
Look, one of those, whatever that billionaire guy was, he was out of his mind, and he tried attacking me with a sword. It was insanity. I don't know what happened.
Like, are you sure? Because you were like playing a game.
I am fully sure.
Yeah, I believe you. The dad just literally says nothing. Almost the whole time, unless directly addressed. He's just kind of like on his phone.
Put an extra $100 bonus in there to their pay. Just
The police come by. It is just the one detective. He mostly only wants to talk to the parents at this point. They go off to the father's office, spend a while, and they're discussing things. You can hear, if you choose to eavesdrop a little bit, that your mom is basically defending you as well as she can. If that's what he said he saw, that's what he saw. I don't have explanations. That's just how it is. That kind of stuff. Eventually they leave. Well, the one detective leaves. He doesn't seem satisfied exactly. But he leaves. No other questions.
Okay. Now that that's over for now, I guess. Jason, how you doing with this morning?
Oh, Jason's staying in his room.
Okay. Go knock on Jason's door.
Come in.
Open up. Good morning. Brought breakfast.
Thanks, kid. How you doing?
I'm doing. Sergeant just left.
Okay. Everything all right?
Seemed like it. He didn't ask me for anything.
Oh, understandable. They need to talk to your legal guardians and everything like that, and maybe get a lawyer if you don't have one already, just in case. Should be fine.
My folks have one on retainer.
Of course they do. We going out or are we staying in? You had a kind of a crazy night last night.
That was a crazy night. How about we just go for a walk?
Like an actual walk or your kind of walk?
Just a walk. Easy
Okay.
mode. I just want to relax.
All right. Give me a minute to get dressed.
As you start to close the door, Timmy, your mom comes up behind you like, "Hi, Jason.
Hey, Mrs. Edgewood, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you? I heard you had such a rough day."
Timmy just kind of rolls his eyes a little bit as she walks by and continues on.
No, everything was fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Do you
No.
need anything?
Am I sure? No. Do I need anything? No, ma'am, but thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. If you need the night off, you can take the night off, the day off. What is it?
It's still morning, ma'am.
Do you need the morning off?
No, the kid wants to go out for a walk. Unless you're going to go for a walk with him.
She kind of looks over at him like, I have stuff. I have things to do.
Understood, ma'am. That's what you guys pay me for.
You should, we should definitely give you a raise. Isn't that right, Timmy?
Already did.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Thank you.
I love you. I love that. I love that for you. Anyway.
I'll keep him safe and we'll report in if anything weird happens.
All right. No police this time. Okay. Just pats Timmy on the top of the head and just backs away.
Gonna look at Timmy.
Really?
Told you.
Just sighs, goes back to go pack his bags.
For a walk?
Yeah, go take my backpack.
Put on clothes. Going to check my bullets to make sure that, like, they haven't been exchanged for blanks. That I'm not part of some elaborate prank that the kid might be playing on me or something.
First of all, how are you gonna check?
I'm going to take out the clip and look at the bullets.
Okay. Second of all, do you check the news?
I stayed up all night, like, watching and reading, trying to research how somebody could be stabbed and not be stabbed. So we'll say, sure, news. I'd pay attention to that. Tech billionaires saying nothing bad happened and is perfectly fine, and I shot him in his face.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'd be looking. I shot him in the chest twice, the face once. I would specifically be looking to see if there's anything that he put out there, like any interviews he did, to see if he is perfectly fine.
There, at the end of the night, there was a brief little blurb in the news about the event itself, how it went off, the attendance, and then just kind of a little afterthought blip in the article about how a prank brought it to an early end, and that, Maximo Trust and his associates are very excited to make it up to those in attendance once they figure out a plan forward.
Google Maps specifically. So
Okay.
Address for where the event was.
Mm-hmm.
Closest hospital.
It's probably 2-3 miles away.
Cool. Gonna call for general information and stuff.
The hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A reception answered the phone. I don't know the name of the hospital.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not looking for that. Hey, I am checking in on somebody who may have been admitted last night with a gunshot wound to their hand.
Oh, okay.
Her name's Naomi.
Naomi, do you have a last name?
Quick type of the people that work for this company and so on and so forth. Naomi. Franco. Naomi Franco.
Naomi Franco.
Suffered a gunshot wound to her left hand.
And what is your relation?
My relation is I am with HR for blah company.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir. If someone was admitted to this hospital under that name, you would not be authorized to receive their health information.
I'm just attempting to contact her so we can work out the insurance bits, as this was an event that happened during work hours at our company function.
Unfortunately, due to privacy reasons, I cannot confirm nor deny she is admitted to this hospital at this time.
I understand you can't tell me any of her medical information, but she could. You know what? I'm sorry. I'll wait for her to call us when she's feeling up to it. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, sir.
They would have just told me no if she wasn't there. All right, kid, let's go.
All right. And we begin a nice leisurely stroll through New York.
You have a destination? You would know. because it is a huge event that there is a LARP happening at Central Park with lots of tourists.
There it is. And I think I would naturally gravitate towards it, even though I'm not looking to go working today.
Jen, did you confirm that my gun did in fact not have blanks?
Oh yeah, no, it's real bullets.
Okay, thank you.
And I am armed now, by the way, in my up the ways.
Okay, what you got? What you
My
got with
dagger.
you? Dagger.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll make our way that way.
Okie doke.
I've got my trusty 9 on me and my conceal frickin' holster, etc. Usual blah. Rifle is still staying in the car.
Perfect. Off you go.
There's a hot dog vendor in Central Park has got the best, but you can only get it from on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Too bad it's clearly a Friday.
My God, do me dirty, Jen.
It's Dobby. All right.
I know I'm not your parent, kid, but shouldn't eat too many of those.
Yeah, too many of these will kill you, won't they?
Exactly, they're bad for you. You shouldn't do that.
But one every now and again won't hurt you.
That's why I said not all the time. Moderation. If there's one thing I can instill in you so you live a long, healthy life, it's make sure to do things in moderation.
I would have thought it'd be live life to its fullest.
You're gonna end up like Gatsby.
Meanwhile, Bjorn, your plane has landed. You have received the address for your hotel.
Okay, I get my bags, including my stuff that I had to check special. My my brown duffel bag
Uh-huh.
and the assorted items therein. Between that and a bag for like clothes and such, I just got my 2 bags and I head to the hotel.
Okay.
Really kind of paranoid. So I'm assuming that while I was on the plane, I would have had a chance to sort of zoom in and try to find out exactly where I'm supposed to meet somebody. Where am I going in New York?
Central Park.
Hmm.
The
I had a werewolf over
location
there a while back.
pin exactly is somewhere between the Great Lawn and Cleopatra's Needle.
Ah, because that means so much to a random guy from Portland.
You said you
I'm
zoomed
assuming-
in real far.
Yes, but I don't know what those mean. They didn't have those the last time I was here. Well, they had Central Park, but that's about it. All right. Okay. So I've got a room that Grace trusts. With
Mhm.
what hotel is this? And so help me if you say it's the Continental.
No, oh, you're gonna put me on the spot like that? Hold on. You are at the Lucerne Hotel.
The Lucerne?
108-pound gang.
Lucerne Hotel.
Okay.
You have a top floor suite. It's not
Really?
super expensive, but it is one of like the more historic hotels in the city. It's been a while since it's been renovated. The rooms have very few windows
Good.
and all interior hallways.
Oh my god, it's like she expected snipers or something. I love her. Okay, I make a note to myself, like somehow I have to send her a large bouquet of something or a large fruit basket to say thank you whenever I find out where she is long enough to have something delivered.
Okay. We can make a note of that however you want.
I make a note and put it in my pocket, assuming that I'm somehow going to remember that, provided I get through this week.
So you check into the hotel, you kind of check the place out, get settled in. What do you do next?
At that point, I text the girls, let them know I'm safe, that I'm checked in, and I make sure that everything I need is ready. Like, I make sure my knives are sharpened, I make sure my khopesh is sharpened, I make sure I've got all the ammo I need, I make sure I'm ready for whatever this is going to be, and then I start trying to snoop around and figure out who the hell who this could have been. Because I can think of like 6 people who I've ticked off enough, but I don't know how many of them are theatric enough for this. That's like 3 people, and 2 of them don't live in this country and think I'm dead. I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
That sounds like you just narrowed it down to 1.
Yes.
Who have you narrowed
But
it
I
down
also-
to? Who have you narrowed it down to?
Bonnie.
Bonnie. Okay.
I think it's Bonnie. But then again, I also know that I'm aware enough to know that I've pissed off people without knowing I've pissed them off. So I'm always remembering, while I think it's this,
Sure.
I don't want to try to pigeonhole myself and say, oh, it's Bonnie, to the exclusion of everybody else, because that's how you get bushwhacked.
Perfect. Do you just sit in your hotel?
No, I make sure I'm ready, then I go downstairs and I want to try to scout out the area where I'm supposed to be, having
Okay.
no idea that there's some large tourist event, which of course I love being around large numbers of random strangers, all of whom may potentially be assassins.
All of whom may.
I've seen John Wick. I know how dangerous this place is.
So you pull up GPS, you pull up Google, and the hotel you've been situated at is actually pretty close to Central Park. Walking, it's maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You could choose to take a cab if you wanted. You could take an Uber. You could take the bus.
I'll stretch my legs. It's been a long flight. So, yeah. Fully strapped. Knives. Khopesh. I leave the shotgun in the room
Mm-hmm.
just because I've been made aware of New York's gun laws.
Yeah.
And while my conceal and carry is valid in my home state, it is not valid here. So me walking around with a shotgun is going to cause me a lot more issues than me walking around with a historical replica.
Perfect. So as you head down West 79th towards Central Park.
Also, trench coat in the most standard Duncan MacLeod style ever,
Okay.
just for the homage.
As you kind of have to work your way around the property that the American Natural History Museum is in the city to get to Central Park. You have to sort of like work your way in a circle around it. It kind of breaks up the grid that is normally New York City.
I make a note that I'm going to have to go here soon, because I think I'm in this one.
You feel
Actually, I know I'm
something
in
familiar.
this one. That familiar?
That feeling.
Oh, God. I do my best to get my back against something very big and wall-like, and look around trying to figure out exactly who or what this particular... I don't think my challenger would be this obvious about it this early, but I don't know. So I'm standing somewhere trying to be inconspicuous with my hand, like 2 inches outside my coat from my khopesh handle.
Okay. Give me perception and also intelligence to see and also possibly ID.
Okay, so am I
what is your
rolling?
phasing.
Am I just rolling straight perception, or am I rolling perception and intelligence separately?
It's two different rolls.
Okay.
Perception and then intelligence.
Damn.
Perfect.
Couldn't do that again if I tried.
As you smash your spine against the building, just ready for some kind of action, you're braced for it. You're looking around. People pass by as like you're just some dude who's being kind of weird and not worth their time. As you look across the street, around just the edge of where the museum is, you notice a man. Dark hair slicked back, dark clothes, and as he stops and looks up and turns, like, you know the look. He
The same
senses
that's on
you
my
too.
face.
He turns to look over his shoulder at you. He's robotically ushering some kids across the street. And as he pivots to look around for you, just like you're looking around from him, you can see the white of a little priest collar. It's been a long, long time, but you'd know that face anywhere. You only knew him by the name of Hussam. But you left on pretty good terms.
Yeah, I thought we were on pretty good terms.
And he doesn't make a move toward you. His head tilted like he's trying to figure out where you are from in his memory just as much as you are he.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Once I peg where he is, like once I figure out exactly who he is in my mind,
Mhm.
I keep eye contact.
You what? Sorry.
1 second. I make eye contact and nod.
He just kind
No.
of laughs a little. You can tell, based on what he's wearing, there's not a lot of room for him to have hidden weapons or anything like that. But he chuckles, nods his head, and gestures for someone just across the street to wait.
I do the obligatory glance over to see who he's motioning at. I'm assuming he's gone.
Hmm?
Just a who?
A nun. At the edge of the corner, just gathering children as they cross the street.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to make a move on him, but I'm going to I'm gonna have my paranoia cranked up to like 13.
That's fine.
But
After
you know,
after gesturing for her to wait for just 1 minute, he heads toward you.
I walk toward. In that case, I walk towards him. Head on a swivel, but somewhat trusting.
His shoulders are relaxed. He doesn't seem to be reaching for anything on his person.
I don't.
He
think
doesn't
he's
seem to
going
be in a
attack.
hurry.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do anything in public, but I've been wrong before. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to do anything right now in this nice crowded street.
He smiles, kind of just chuckling and shaking his head as he comes to a stop in front of you.
Alright.
It's been a long, long time.
What language is he speaking?
English?
English? Okay. It really has. I extend a hand to shake.
He nods, reaches out, shakes it, no problem.
It's been a while since you and I last crossed. How have you been?
I don't think we have enough time to go over that for us both, though.
It would seem that you're out of the game.
Yes. It didn't fuel me, my soul. You know,
I know what you mean.
after so long doing what we have to survive,
True.
I needed
So you're
something deeper. My own prize, if you will.
I spent many a year in Arabia trying to find the same thing when I was younger. As a friend, I should warn you, there may be something happening in the next little while.
What do you mean something?
Our kind of something. I'm not exactly here on vacation.
Are you hunting?
People I love have been threatened in a very specific way. And I'm here to resolve the issue. Just in case, you may want to keep your eyes open. Provided, of course, it wasn't you.
I always keep my eyes open. But, if you need somewhere safe to stay, obviously I have a place to offer.
I'm not sure of a place to stay. However, I can always say I've always enjoyed a cup of tea with an old friend.
Hey, you're a tea drinker now?
Well, compared to the stuff that they serve here, it's probably safest. You know what they say about New York? Don't drink the water.
You get used to it after a while, it's not gonna kill you.
Well, maybe not me. I don't know. You hear those stories about all the crocodiles in the sewers? Not as many as the Nile, but
I've wrestled
still.
them all out of existence, I assure you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's what you have to do to get
When I
one of
become a
these
saint,
days.
that'll be my feat.
Remind me to light a candle for you. I wouldn't have picked Catholicism, though.
They're pagan overtones. Makes us feel at home.
What church are you in?
Church of the Blessed Sacrament. You're welcome anytime.
I may well stop by this later on this evening.
And if you need a meal, every evening at 7.
Sounds like a date.
I have to get back with the children. And
Good to see you,
I'd like
Padre.
to catch up.
That's what
I don't have a cell phone, but he hands you a card with just like the church office number
Thank you.
if you need anything. And before you leave,
I'll be in touch.
I promise.
As much as I can.
Man of your word.
Provided I can keep my head on straight.
I'll pray for you.
It's appreciated.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Mm-hmm. And he turns and heads to just jog off to catch up with.
I tuck that in my pocket. Just sort of like with a really silly, like, what are the odds kind of grin. My face.
It's New York City.
Hey.
Verso!
Yes.
So you have spoken by now to the dungeon master, the lord of the prisoners, whatever he calls himself, without referring to his notes. What
Lord
questions
of the
do you have?
Dungeon, I think it was.
What questions do you have?
Well, where are the guards that were detained on the night of the princess's capture?
They are still detained. Would you like to speak with them?
If you would, good sir.
I'm supposed to like get
If
your
I-
name and stuff, but I ran out of paper. So here you are.
Thank you.
question.
And I am Sir Verso.
Serviso? What's
Verso. Verso.
Verso? Anyway, just ask your questions,
With a
dude.
V, like vector.
Bev's okay. Dude, just ask your questions. It's cool.
Okay.
There's like two dudes like sitting just like in chairs.
In shape.
Like in Royal Guard outfits, like a kind of like a pile of Pringles cans and like snack crumbs shoved under their chairs.
Lawn chairs.
One of them, the one clearly with lines, looks up like, Sir Knight, you have come to ask us questions.
Hello, good sirs. I hope you are in good health. And yes, I have come.
We are
with
prisoners.
questions. Okay. At least you have your meals.
Do we, though? This is the Middle Ages.
Yeah, but at least you have Pringles.
He just kind of like snakes a foot out to like tap, tap, tap it back under the chair. These Pringles we know not of.
Sorcery. What did you witness on the night of the princess's capture?
We witnessed 3 sets of footsteps and 3 sets of voices entering the queen's chambers. They had accents not of this place.
Okay. Anything else of importance? In fact, anything you would think of not importance.
All of a sudden, the other one goes, "That's enough questions. We give up. We'll tell you everything."
Okay. Well, what saith?
They were intruders from England, here to reclaim the queen.
Reclaim, but she had already been betrothed, had she not?
Something terrible happened to her husband. I don't remember. History's not my thing. Something terrible happened to her husband. And we were supposed to take her away so another could not marry her.
Sorry, I'm making a note.
Dude, did I cave too fast? Like, I honestly am getting kind of bored. We were supposed to have lunch like 4 hours ago.
I'm sure they'll bring you food soon. No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Cool.
Yeah, you're doing good. So where have you taken her? Where is she?
We didn't take her anywhere, sir. It was the intruders that took them, and they galloped off west. Wait, west.
West. All right.
They took her west under the flag of the Red Griffin.
Flag of the Red Griffin.
That way's west, man.
Okay. So my this west.
Yeah, that.
This west.
And even if like that's not west, that's the direction.
Okay. All right. Well,
Please don't hurt us anymore, mister.
I am my dearest apologies for hurting you.
They'll surely kill us now. So hope you're happy.
Well, I hope you recover soon. You did great.
Good luck with that queen and whatnot.
Yeah, no, thanks. And good luck here, whatever happens next for you.
Hopefully
I
fucking
hope they
lunch,
make it
man.
quick at least.
Hopefully lunch.
They didn't bring you lunch yet?
And we had our snacks, unlimited snacks, sure, but like,
Yeah, but that's not lunch. Good sandwich.
That's all the lines
Until
I
we
have for
meet
you.
again.
Bye, brave knight guy.
And then as I walk by the Lord of the Dungeon, I'm just like,
Did you get the answers you're coming from?
yes, I did get the answers that I was in search of. These,
What excellent
cooperative-
interrogation skills you must have.
why,
We
thank
couldn't
you.
get them to answer questions.
Many years of experience. You will get there someday. I have good faith in you.
Oh, what an expert. I have so much to learn.
And these prisoners have exuberated great behavior. I would recommend a good meal as an order for these cooperative
They
prisoners.
shall be hanged in the morning. Wait, a good meal?
Yeah. They were quite respectful in their answers, as resistant as they were. And
Whatever
as
you
tough as their
say.
skulls were to crack.
Where do you go next? Do you head off west?
Yeah, we'll go west.
As you head west, past the royal tent again,
Oh god.
you also feel
I'm sorry, I have to. There are no horses or anything here, right?
you have like a little card that says horse on it.
Can I take out like two little cup / coconut looking things and just Monty Python my way
Absolutely. You
west?
hang the little card with a horse on it around your neck as you
Around
gallop past. Beautiful. As you move past the royal tent, one more time, you feel a feeling. You know exactly what this feeling is. The whole sense of your being tingles and hums, and you are immediately at edge. This has always been the precursor to a fight. You sense another immortal nearby.
In the royal tent.
As you gallop past the royal tent toward the west.
It's fitting.
Note that for later. In fact, like, I'm gonna, as I go by the royal tent, I'm gonna do, again, like, Monty Python style, like, and just make sure the sense is correct, and then onwards.
Perfect. You would know that whoever is in there has probably also sensed you. But as you gallop off again, nobody exits the tent. Nobody seems to be chasing after you, so you are welcome to pursue the intruders to the west.
All right. Onwards.
Of course they would be there. They have inside them blood of kings.
Timothy and Jason.
3 more cares for Artie.
Oh my god.
Hey, bravo.
So undeserving. Thank you.
No, everybody is loving the meta of role playing
Yeah.
at a LARP as a
As
tabletop.
yourself.
Yes, like the full meta of all of this is just making it's a delight and a treat.
It is. It really is. We need to do this again.
Timothy and Jason,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Working.
Working.
Well, since my favorite hot dog stand's not there, we'll look for another good, decent one. I'm sure there's somebody running around with a food cart.
Oh, all types.
Where
You
were
got
we,
your hot dogs, you
Think of that
got your
going on.
dishes.
where were we going?
Central Park.
Okay.
You immediately
What?
kind of head toward the place where all of the people, where you know there's going to be extra food trucks, extra food vendors, just to kind of cater to the population that is suddenly taking over. Is that where you go straight for? Or do
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna go
go
for
somewhere else?
go for the foods that we can't usually get.
What's going on?
As some sort of a history event.
Watch some idiot clopping coconuts go riding past us. Uh-huh. Okay.
Is it walking?
Is that at me?
Sure.
I'm very sure
Artie,
there's more than
as
one.
you ride past to continue on to the west by a hot dog stand,
Wouldn't that
you
trigger?
feel another buzz. Another immortal. Timmy, think you too.
Mm-hmm.
Already. As Verso zooms past.
Just mid hot dog bite, kind of watches. I don't got time for this.
Priorities, kid.
Chokes
Priorities.
down hot dog.
If they're not paying any attention to me, I'm gonna not pay attention to them right now.
So is this like some like Game of Thrones dragons
Looks kind of like it.
thing?
I know whenever they do these events, the food is good.
Haha.
Sure.
After last night's stress, I figured, be a good place to come and unwind.
Oh yeah, bring me with you in my care to a very crowded public event again. Where where everybody has swords. This is a great idea.
But at least the food's good.
I appreciate the effort, kid. Most well thought out. Probably not, but I appreciate the effort. So are you gonna go fight?
No, I might go check out some of the vendor stalls. They usually got some really cool stuff.
If you're into old stuff like this, I guess. Okay.
And Bjorn, as you have already parted ways with your old friend, whose name is now apparently Father Dominic, if his card is any indication. As you cross past the History Museum, you approach Central Park. And it's been a while since you've been in Central Park, but this place is now packed. You see stragglers wearing armor wandering across to try to find a bathroom. You see people in wench outfits, like spanning a whole entire, like, centuries of time.
Yeah.
A mixed match of clothing. It is some kind of fair, some kind of event, sprawling out across the park as you approach it.
The irked part of him is just like, nope, focus. We're here for a reason. Those are extremely nice, but that's not in any way what she would have looked like. Why does he have a codpiece on?
Do you continue on to the exact GPS location, or do you continue to just sort of survey the area?
I come to a place where I've got a view of where I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe 30, 40 yards off. I'm trying to get a rough idea of the lay of the land. Like, is this a forest? Is this a bridge? Is this an island?
It is spread across mid-park. The exact place that the GPS kind of indicates is directly between the Great Lawn, which is currently full of tents and vendors, including a big red and yellow royal tent. You can tell it's a royal tent because it's got the royal guards outside of it, and it's the biggest, fanciest, goldenest tent there is.
I don't remember him being that gaudy.
And Cleopatra's Needle, which is kind of set up, as far as you can tell, as like a ship sort of location. There's crates and boards meant to look like the deck of a ship. is kind of built up from the grass pretty far. They've had to stay like 1.5 feet at least away from the monument itself. And they went right to the edge of where they're allowed to build. But the exact location is somewhere in there.
Okay. This is gonna give me such a headache. Okay. I go in.
Going where?
I start walking closer to where I think it should be, just because if there's a whole bunch of tents and everything in the way, I'd at least like to get a thing. Is, you know, this is a great cover for somebody to set up a fantastic ambush, and I'm doing my best to not fall into aforementioned ambush.
Okay.
But I also understand, you know, there's only so much of this that I'm going to really be able to like dodge if I want the information I want. So I go in. I'm going to say that I make a point of walking in past the food trucks and see if I can find, I don't know, somebody selling decent Danish food, which I'm very sure they're not.
You can find some like Polish food. Not a lot of Danish. Danish is pretty.
Okay, in that case, I find...
Timothy, I know you were stepped away for a second.
Okay, so what I missed? Sorry.
Yeah,
There's
you
an
came
immortal
back just in
standing with a
time to
pierogi
feel another immortal walk past you in the food section.
Okay. Over by the pierogies. Because pierogies.
I mean, can't blame him.
And I'm assuming that I can...
You can also sense Tim.
Is it just him, or have I also pinged Artie?
Artie has raced off to the west.
So I'm not aware of Artie. Okay. I can't remember Artie's name. I know it starts with a V. I can't remember exactly what it
There,
says.
so.
Better so.
Yeah, so...
You also, not that I don't mean much to you, you don't sense anything in the royal tent either as you walk past.
I wasn't expecting to.
You weren't?
At this point, it's me standing there with a large batch of pierogies, trying to figure out who else I might be old friends with. Let's just go ahead and leave it at that. I'm assuming, I mean, okay, since I'm not sure how the buzz works other than like a perimeter sensor, I don't believe I have anything that would let me like pinpoint a person or anything, because I don't think I took that feat.
Nope.
So, other than just my personal facial recognition, I wouldn't have any other way of identifying who is and who isn't, other than someone in this area is, right?
Often, there's like a behavioral aspect to it. You immediately, without thinking about it, kind of look up and look around. But besides keeping an eye on other people's faces, not necessarily.
Okay, so unless I see somebody else copying me. Okay, well, I look for other people who've got that look on their face. But, do I need to roll to see if I pick out who it is?
While the buzz doesn't literally let one immortal identify another, a successful DC 10 Wisdom Insight check picks out another visible immortal within 50 feet due to their bearings and mannerisms.
There we go.
All right, so I'm going to roll a Wisdom.
So what I was going to ask was, Tim, do you react in the first place?
Tim would he'd have probably hesitated on his next bite just because this is getting to be a bit of a lot.
Okay. Because you reacted in some way, then yes, roll a...
I rolled a 21.
It's really quick, but you were already a little bit on edge from meeting with your old friend, Father Dominic, earlier. But you do see right at the exact second, someone else probably would have felt something. Timothy pauses and looks up.
Chew. Keeping an eye in that area, but not really making eye contact.
after that initial pause, keeps eating. It starts, casually scanning.
All right, well, if we're going to do Ren Fair, let's do Ren Fair right. Let's go get a turkey leg. Come on, kid.
Oh, that sounds good. Follows along, still keeping an eye out a little bit, casually.
Oh, it's not a you follow along. Like, you're kept in front of me. And, like, when we go into crowds, there's a hand on your
pointing
shoulder.
the direction.
You're like, follow along. I'm like, oh, no. You're staying in my field of vision.
Not again. All right. In this case, I'm starting to I'm starting to get paranoid.
Okay.
Because I've now run across more immortals in the past 5 minutes than I have in the preceding 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to get kind of concerned. Is this a couple of them out for me? Do I have an immortal cell going on now? I don't remember pissing off anybody who would have this many people on staff.
Okay, well, what do you do? What are you doing next? Is there something you want to do?
I'm taking a very outside roundabout circuitous route to try to get to a better vantage point to where I'm trying to be. At this point, I'm sort of glancing at the GPS coordinates, glancing around, walk a little ways towards where I think I'm going, glancing at the GPS coordinates, walking, sort of
Okay.
in a spot, not like an intentional spiral, but just closer, series of approximations.
I'm gonna have you, in that case, roll streetwise to identify the best vantage point that you can. And good news, I guess, Tim, the other immortal walks away from you.
Okay, that is another question I had, and just because I realize I haven't understood this correctly, it's like a 50-foot barrier. So if an immortal was playing hopscotch, at 51 feet and 49 feet, I would just go bing, ding, 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 ding. On, off, on, off, on, off.
Mechanically, yes.
Okay. That's... Alright. Nobody do that. But... Alright, then yeah, I try to find what the information I need, and then I want to try to get away from here in case I am truly about to get bushwhacked.
All right. Well, it's pretty densely packed and actually pretty flat in this one area. They picked it specifically because it was flat and easier to build on. You do find a spot that's kind of a little bit higher and less densely packed that you can camp out at if you just want to keep an eye out on stuff.
I only need about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to just stand there and look around a little bit.
Okay. Well, while you are standing and looking around, we're going to go back to Verso.
Yay!
Verso, you're heading to the west. And the west is away from the main tenting, camping area. There's a few little booths and stuff, but it's really just kind of a pathway between two spaces. And as you go, there's less and less people, and you get to... Basically, it's just a little booth with a lady in a wench costume just hanging out. She's got a red griffin flag tucked into the side of her corset. She's on her phone. It's been a while since someone's come. What do you say as you approach?
Good evening, young mistress.
Oh, you're serious. Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Sir Verso.
Sir Verso. Good evening. What do you want? Do you need instructions?
I've come in search of the princess.
Yeah. You and half the town. Yeah. What information do you have already?
I was told that she had been taken west, presumably west, on horseback.
Wait,
And upon these horsebacks rises a symbol of a red griffin
red grit.
and
Yeah.
foreigners of this land.
Yeah. Okay. What did you say your name was?
Cerverso.
How do you spell that?
Okay, so it's V, like vector,
Yeah.
and then E-R,
Uh-huh.
no, just one E, R-S-O.
Uh-huh. Oh, I have special instructions for you. You did so good interrogating those corrupt guards that I have a special assignment just for you. Straight from the mouth of Richard Richard the First. Are you ready for this honorable
I am
mission?
worthy and prepared. Please, what is my quest?
Okay, so you're supposed to go up this way. You see that around the
Okay.
corner? There's like an Alexander Hamilton. You know, Alexander Hamilton. The one.
Hamilton. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. You go up around there. There's kind of like a little shed in the back. That's where you're gonna find the intruders.
All right. Onwards then. Thank
Yep,
you for this
onwards.
noble quest.
Good job. You're so handsome. You're really not handsome. Do you do drinks later? Like you're not
Yeah.
from around here, so I could like show you around a real New York experience.
Here's that
Huh?
a fine evening in the bar place, as they called it.
You know, you want to find yourself a wench? Get real saucy in the tavern.
Maybe.
You come find me.
All right.
This is our way.
All right.
If we had
Thank
phones,
you.
I'd tell you to call me, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
I don't have any pocket cylinders.
You know where to find me. I'm like, I'll be right here like all day.
All right. Perhaps I can circle around once the princess is saved.
Yeah, you save that
Yeah,
princess.
you know what? I'll let you know.
Yeah,
We'll-
best of luck, sir.
Best of
Barso.
luck to you, my lady. Yes. What was your name?
Oh, I'm Madeline. I mean, Lady
Fair Madeline.
Madeline.
Tis a lovely name.
Yeah, you think
Okay,
I'm lovely?
bye.
Bye.
Onwards.
Sir Verso isn't here for hookup culture. Sir Verso is an honorable knight.
Ask about the
In
rose
search
god,
of
and I dare ya.
Search of a beloved.
Kilt
The
checks
goes
and
on a noble quest.
So you clip
We're
top
here
around
for this.
Alexander Hamilton.
Sir Verso paid $8.75 for this LARP, not a trollop.
Every penny.
How much for the trollop, though? Just for if we're asking.
I'd say just a few drinks. She's not fancy.
To self. Find trollop.
The afternoon. It's been a long day of chasing down these dastardly intruders. But you feel you've made a lot of progress as you circle around Alexander Hamilton. And you feel it
I
again.
forget the rest of it.
You feel it again, that trembling in your bones, that instant sense of danger. Matt, were you
The
going to say
noble
something?
smile falls. Noble smile falls for a second, and we slow from a trot to nothing and take in our surroundings.
Oh boy.
You hear it.
Because danger and immortals are very different.
You hear the clank of metal just behind you. And we're dueling. This is our
We're
first
dueling?
duel. So if you do
Okay,
not
let's
already
do
have
it.
it, if you do not already have the rules for duel pulled up. You should probably pull those up. Real quick.
Okay.
You turn and look at the clank of armor. You'd know that face anywhere. That right there is Roland Laurent. One of your oldest and most persistent enemies. He too is wearing the armor of his time, including a little ornate metal crown and a badge that says Richard the First.
And he's the bad guy of the LARP. Get him, Verso!
I'm gonna unsheath my sword and just have it at the ready.
Perfect. If you could click the letter V and roll initiative. Okay. Cool. we are doing our best here now. All right. So, step one of a duel. You're going to pick what approach you use for this duel.
Okay.
Basically, how are you going to approach? You're not going to go first, but that doesn't matter right this second. How are you going to approach the fight? As he kind of cackles and unsheaths his own sword like shink. You've got strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. You can pick your highest trait if you'd like, or you can pick based on what you think his lowest might be. And whoever wins this little strategy gets an edge on this first turn.
All right. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna make it interesting. We're gonna go with our lowest one. We're gonna do dexterity.
All right. Perfect. So he's gonna do strength, so that where they connect in that little table at the bottom is charisma. So what is your charisma?
Like the straight number?
Yeah, just the straight number, not the modifier.
16.
That means you are going to get the edge for this first round.
Sweet.
You can choose one of those options under edge. Increase your defense by +2, lower your opponent's defense by -2. Gain an advantage on a roll you make, give your opponent a disadvantage on a roll they make, take half damage from attack, or change one of your attacks into a critical hit. If you want to go with one of the first two, you have to choose that right this second. Otherwise, any of the other ones you can decide to do during the combat round.
It said +2 to defense.
+2 to your defense. Cool. So just keep that in mind. What will that make your defense, just so I know?
Sorry, what?
What will that make your defense, just so I know when I roll?
So +2, where's defense again?
It's
right next to initiative.
Okay, it's gonna be 17.
Ooh. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then the rest of this combat goes as normal. So if you swap to the combat turns, when it's your turn, you can move up to 30 feet, take an action from the list of actions. You may or may not get a bonus action. There's also free actions you can take. You're just going to have to kind of look at the list or ask for suggestions if you're really, really panicking in a split second we're doing this.
Actions. Is that in combat?
Yep, that is in combat because we are in combat.
Okay. Got it.
As he unsheathed his sword, he kind of levels the blade at Verso. It's time we've met again. Mother Nature has gotten in the way of us before. They will not this time.
Oh my god, he's LARPing their actual combat.
Yeah.
And then he
Is it-
swings. He's gonna take a
Starting to
swing.
think. Take a swing, Sheen.
He just goes right in with his giant, like, axe on a... I should have rolled the weapon. Look at me go. I'm a professional. Let me do that again real quick. Here we go. Oh! He's so excited. He, like, swings just a second too soon as he's charging towards you. You can feel the cold blade whip past your face, but he doesn't hit you. He kind of takes a few steps back.
Has time not treated you well?
Time has treated me very well. Time is about to end on you.
Your swings scream your age, young friend. My old friend.
I'm just so excited to see you bleed.
The feeling is mutual. And we're gonna swing.
Okay.
I really hope we can get like ringside seats for this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is enough to
Yay.
hit him. So you hit him for 9.
Damn.
Your sword comes up, swings back. You feel it connect, not with the metal of his breastplate or his shoulders, but through the softer, more pliable leather just between his ribs. You feel it dig in, skating past bone as you draw first blood. Was there anything else you wanted to do from the list?
As a bonus action?
There's some bonus actions you can take. That's not, I don't believe that's a light weapon, so you can't do an offhand attack, but you can communicate, you can pick up something, you can pull something from your inventory.
Reload.
Artie, don't forget, you do have class abilities too. For example, you could do drive them back because you've hit and done damage to them. You can move them, you can force them 5 feet away from you in whatever direction you want.
Alright, we'll drive them back.
Okay.
That was a warning swing. Be gone.
He doubles over, grasping at his side, pulling
Like
his,
noble king and brother you are.
pulling his hand away to examine the blood. Only one of
I
us is noble
suggest you
here.
return to your royal tent.
I have earned my standing. And what have you done?
I fought for mine.
Then let's fight.
If you so wish.
If anyone else in Central Park wants to roll perception to see if they overhear anything.
Oh hell yes.
Meanwhile,
Absolutely.
Oh
Some
hell
really good
yes.
LARPing going on over here. You
pick
can't
a
miss it.
strategy for this next round.
That's a 14 on my side.
What ability will you be pitching for your attacks?
Are those just the average ones?
Yeah, so like how you picked dexterity last time, you pick like just one of your sets.
You can pick Dex
Okay.
again if you want. You can pick anything else.
Got it. Okay. Well, he's pretty adamant to stick around, so we're gonna go with her strength this time.
Strength. All right.
Yeah.
What is your strength?
17.
This time, Roland gets the advantage.
Oh no!
Ah!
That Twizzler.
He's gonna take advantage on this attack roll of his. So that means he's gonna roll twice and take the higher one. As he regroups himself, both hands on his weapon and swings again.
Well,
Well, shit.
He plants his feet, and you can tell that the playfulness in his eyes has started to wane. You've actually hurt him, and he doesn't like that. And this is like the third time you fought. He's determined,
Yeah.
before you can get any more clever quips out, to end you here and now. And he swings, doing 14 damage
Eesh, where's my
as it drops into your
Ow.
shoulder, right between where the plates of armor hit, grinding into bone, splitting open your skin.
We're just gonna attack again, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that attack. Tim, you hear off in the distance, like, voices that at first are like theatrical, but you think maybe there's actually an argument actually happening that way.
Okay. Just kind of go and actually poke my head around the corner.
With Roland's blade still deep in your torso, you haul back, piercing, slashing at his body, and you catch him again. Deep drawing blood. His knees buckle just a little bit, but he backs away from your blade, oozing blood through the mishmash weave of leather that is his armor. And you do 11 damage.
Jesus.
You've gotten better in this time. Too bad all that knowledge will go to waste.
As a view, I must admit, it's been a while since I've had such a riveting duel.
My God.
If you deserve anything, it is this, a worthy opponent.
I would hope for more, but I will take what I can get. And I'm
You aren't
assuming
like-
you've come for the same.
I've come for your head.
I am here to defend mine.
You
What happens to yours, I could care less at this point.
And another round of dueling. How are you approaching this one?
We're gonna go for a dodge, I think, for the next one.
You're just gonna dodge?
Yeah, maybe he'll
Okay.
tire himself out if he misses.
That's fine. I'll still pick a strategy.
Yes. Alright, strategy is gonna be dexterity.
Dexterity. And he's gonna pick strength again because he's a simple boy. So charisma, stick at the edge. How would you like to spend your edge?
We'll take the crit one.
Okay. You
Oh.
don't intend. Do you actually intend to attack though?
Oh, freaking brain. We'll take the half damage for this one.
Damage. Okay. Hold on 1 second because I didn't write down the rules for dodging. One second.
I think dodge gives disadvantage on attacks, but that's D&D, so I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
same.
I mean, it's probably the same.
I need to find Piccolo.
So that perfect. He kind of cackles when he realizes you're not really set up to strike back against him. And feeling a little bolstered, he lunges again at you, but you're ready. You're spring loaded. You bounce back out of the way, no problem. You're quicker on your feet than I remember.
And you're slower in your armor than I remember.
Oh.
You take that back right now.
Oh.
You'll have to force the words from my throat.
There'll be no throat when you have no head.
My God.
We shall see. Perhaps you'll never hear the words then.
Having just watched like 4 episodes of the TV show yesterday with Jen, this dialogue is spot on.
Right?
You're one step away from it. May your marinara never stick to your pasta.
All right. Next round. Does anyone want to roll to see if they hear anything weird? Go ahead. If you,
Like I said,
Question?
I'm poking my head around the corner after
Okay.
I heard it.
I have a passive perception of 12. Does that mean that I would hear it just because, or would I still need to roll a perception to get it?
You would still
you're
need to
far
roll.
away, to be
How that
honest.
works.
It's you're
I don't know.
you're kind of
That's
far
what I'm
away.
Okay.
So I'm asking you for rolls just because of the distance. That's enough.
Oh, I heard it.
You hear like fighting noises, not like the "oh, you got me" for 2 points fighting noises that like everywhere else
2 points.
is. They're the actual sounds of actual swords kind of clashing together.
Does the banter back and forth make it more or less real in my mind?
I mean, immortal.
Like, I'm legitimately asking.
It can be real dramatic.
Okay, because I'm gonna give it extra credence because of the drama that's going on.
Hey, look, kid.
That's high.
The one
That's
knight's
Highlander.
that one knight's fighting that other knight.
Yep.
Hey, Verso, you feel another immortal nearby.
Jesus. This is a
Th-
dueling
this-
ground? What did I just pay $900 for?
Just got the turkey leg.
I just wanted to
Hey.
have fun.
Here's your strategy
75
for
and a
this
turkey
round.
leg sounds about right.
Jason's just standing there, also eating his turkey leg, just watching the fight. Just like, huh,
We're gonna,
this
we're gonna
one-
go strength.
This one looks a little realistic.
Timmy's got a serious look on his face.
Not even
You're-
looking
you're-
at Timmy.
You're
Yeah.
going strength for this round?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, Roland wins again. He is going to. He's gonna hold. He's gonna swing again at you.
Okay. So he's not attacking me now, but after I get done, he will?
No, we're gonna give Verso the disadvantage on the next roll he makes. So
Okay.
he's gonna. Perfect. He barely gives you enough time to like reset, regroup before he is swinging his weapon at you. He's got all of his might behind it. You hear it whoosh in the air as it zips forth, and it catches you, but only for 5 damage.
Okay. 5, 17. Okay.
What are you
And
doing?
then we're gonna. Sorry?
What are you doing next?
We're gonna swing again. And I'm thinking maybe brutal style, but
Okay. What does brutal style do?
sorry, I'm also reading another one real quick.
You're fine.
Bring it back.
Brutal style, if she swaps to using both hands on her weapon, like if it's a versatile weapon, which her sword is,
Okay.
she gets to add something called a brutality dice to the damage. So she would be rolling damage and then also adding a 1d4 to it.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll the attack first.
If they choose that, they said they were looking for at another thing too.
We can use that now. We'll see.
It's
how it
just
goes.
extra damage, so I guess
Yeah.
why not? But you are rolling at a disadvantage. You roll twice.
Okay. What? Is that the right one? Yeah, it is.
Hey!
Not bad.
I didn't even see it yet. Yay! Holy crap.
You hit either way.
You.
Base is 8, so roll another d4. You might just have to type it in.
3.
Or 11.
Hey, good damage.
Sir. Yes, sir.
30-something points into this guy so far. Good job.
Heck yeah.
You catch him just as he like swings his weapon back. He tries to block you. It gives you just an opening to kind of gouge right between his ribs, sort of where you slashed before, but you can feel things catch as your blade sinks in deep to the hilt. He kind of gasps, blood spraying out from his mouth.
These nerds are hardcore.
Those things that caught were called organs.
And he gets kind of quiet and sober. You know he's not done yet.
He's very looking him in the eye, but not in a I'm totally gonna kill you kind of way. More of a keep playing and you're gonna find out kind of way.
Some of the color has started to drain from his face. His hair is a little wet as he started to sweat. But he kind of takes some steps away from the blade as it drags out from his body. What's your strategy this time?
Get him.
Oh, get him.
Meanwhile, if you want to, Bjorn, you are welcome to start heading toward the noise, or you can stay out of it.
Oh no, I'm definitely going to this one. Can just because I'm curious, can I come around like the other side from where Timmy is?
You.
Would that
Sure.
be easier?
That's fine.
I don't know. I don't want to have to explain things to a bodyguard.
We're gonna do clear jam, and that's like if this happens, then this happens thing, right?
What do you mean? That's clear jam is no.
Clear
that's the
jam's
ready.
for guns.
Yeah, that's
Ready.
the thing.
Oh, can I
ready in action.
then? Okay. I don't know why. I was looking at both of the bullet point columns and seeing the right ones as being descriptors of
Oh, you're
the
fine.
first one.
You can ready in action. What would you like to
Told him
ready?
to
Yeah.
reload.
If he continues to pursue me, I'm going to swing again. But
Okay.
because he's backed off, I'm just going to, for now, stand back and let him catch his breath and be like, "You
Give
do
him
not
a chance
return."
to make a better choice.
Right. If you do not return to your royal tent immediately and allow me to continue on this journey for your sister, I will have no choice but to end this feud.
No one deserves my sister, especially not scum like you.
Hey,
She
Jason, let's
deserves
look
a
at the
brother
weather
such as
stat.
yourself.
What's
It
up?
looks like it's winding down.
Sure, kid. I mean, you're the one that brought us over here. If you want to go do something else.
Which strategy are you using? Hey, Jason, are you watching the fight at all?
I am. I've been making comments from far away, just like, oh, those nerds are really going at it.
You probably have seen enough real injuries and real blood in your time that, well, for that to be special effects, that seems a little out of this place's budget. That man coughs and sweats and bleeds all over himself.
$100, I beg to differ.
I mean, as far as Jason's concerned, like, this might be all of their budget, and that's why everything else is so shoddy.
Wouldn't this be in front of a crowd then instead of?
It's practice.
Back here?
It's tech rehearsal, obviously.
That's
Oh,
why
of
they
course,
have a hot
obviously.
dog stand next to the executioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
I
kid.
just want to see where the sausage was made, but okay.
How would you like, I know you're holding your action first,
Yep.
so how would you like to strategize this? I'm guessing probably wisdom, maybe? Careful observation?
Yeah, wisdom, reading the body language and stuff.
Okay. What is your wisdom score?
14.
You win. You get the edge.
Okay.
Clearly, this guy's.
Why does it have to be this way? Roll 20. Okay, here we go. Got the edges up.
Yep, you can increase your defense by +2, lower your opponent's defense by -1 right this second, or choose what you do later depending on how this goes.
I'm gonna give my opponent a disadvantage on any d20 roll.
Perfect. And of course he's going to attack again.
Of course.
Thank God for disadvantage.
What is your defense?
Holy crap! Yeah. 15.
Perfect. Good move.
Oh!
He
Lots
hit
of-
you, but his axe like bounces off one of the metal plates and like creating this crazy big spark that anyone watching can easily see. But he deals no damage this time.
Ooh.
Well,
And since he attacked, would you like to attack?
yep, I warned him. And... crap. We might use brutal style again if I read through it again. And your brutality die is double the number. Yeah. You know what? I warned him. We're gonna go for the neck on this swing. I warned him.
Okay. That's good because he's down to 5, so.
Okay. Okay.
You hit.
Oh shit.
You don't need to roll your extra dice, but now it's time for a decapitation challenge, everybody.
Hey, our first one.
Our second one, technically.
I wasn't okay, from a character standpoint, I was not expecting a decapitation this quickly.
Verso wins.
Yeah.
So what you are going to do is roll your weapon one more time, and it's going to be
Okay.
versus his Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
So 12. Oh,
Dang, he likes
just
15.
barely. You do enough damage that his head kind of flies backwards and he crumples to the ground. Some blood leaking out from where you sliced his neck, but it is still attached. And you know it's only a matter of time before he gets back up if you don't do something about it. So you can
We're
choose to
going-
try again, or you can choose to leave.
Oof. God. That is so tough. Oh, God dang it. You know what? Mercy. Yep. We're gonna consider this another really big warning. And we're
Okay.
gonna give a respective bow. How do you end a duel? You just walk away?
You can walk away.
Well, we're gonna bow respectfully and we're gonna swish the blood off of our sword. And
Mateo, are you making faces in character?
Uh-huh.
is there a
already
bush
turned
around here? Is there a bush?
There's foliage all over the place.
Honestly, Timothy's just
Yeah.
waiting for the lightning strikes.
We're gonna pick him up and just put him in a bush.
As you pick him up, you can roll to revive. Gonna roll my one. Wait, I didn't mean to roll that many. Oh no, I did. I did actually. That was just a really good roll.
Yeah.
As you try to heave him into a bush, his hand shoots up to try to grab you by the throat. Strength versus dex, strength or dex. whichever is higher. If you would like to
Strength.
try to.
They are polar
him.
opposites of each other.
So roll strength, Artie.
Sorry.
He's still a little weak. You kind of managed to pry your neck out from around where his fingers are grasping at it. His eyes like fiery and fueled, like almost feral, as he's like coming back to consciousness in that panic state. You know, you felt it before.
Okay, I know that there's like ferocity in it. Is that like a kind of panic where you're actually scared for your life, or just like that desperate to get the kill? Do you think?
It's kind of a crazed, cornered animal, desperate to win, desperate to live kind of look.
You're testing my morality.
Timothy would hear Jason be like, "What the fuck?"
You know what?
Like,
Fine. We're gonna go
in
for the rest of it. We're gonna go for the rest of the neck.
You'd hear me chant, like in the background, "Do it."
It's possible. It's possible, but his hit points are back up to 11, so you're gonna have to roll really well.
Brutal style.
Ooh. Yeah, brutal style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Took the words right
As
out
he's
of
like
my mouth.
crawling out of the bush.
I've learned my lesson for the last 500 years. Friggin', there's only so many
He dropped his
warnings.
weapon when he dropped, so you.
Hey, perfect.
Yay! Oh my god, there's
Just
so many
enough.
close calls in this.
Just enough. I'm
Just
gonna roll his constitution to see if you get him this time, but narratively I might just let it happen. Oh! He is half on the ground, arm instinctively reaching for where he thinks the handle of his weapon should be, other arm like grasping at you, your legs verso, struggling, stumbling to his feet, blood dripping from his chest, from his neck, his eyes wild with insanity, and you rear back and swing your weapon again.
Mid swing. It's kind of like,
Taking
it's like, hey, wait.
His head clean off.
Oh,
He just kinda whispers.
wow.
It tumbles and rolls into the bushes as suddenly everything feels intensely quiet. Verso, like things are moving in slow motion. Your heart pounds in your chest. The wind picks up and starts to swirl around you. Clouds roll in, and the first tiny sparkle of lightning crackles above your head. What is everyone else doing?
Well,
Cheering.
I have pulled out my gun.
Mm-hmm.
I have cocked it. And I'm currently aiming at Verso.
Timothy just.
You said you walked off.
No, I didn't. I just turned around.
I'm cheering.
Verso's got. He was very frozen when it first happened, but now he's like hand over the heart as it continues to race.
You feel all of a sudden first numb and then a smothering surge of energy. Your whole body lights up. You see flashes, images from a life that is not your own. You see Roland's youth. You see his first love. You see his first fight, his first death, his last fight. As lightning crackles cloud to ground around all of you, searing off limbs, kicking up dirt till you can barely see past the hand in front of your face. anybody doing anything.
Well, I'm holstering my gun, and much in the same way the night before, I'm scooping the kid, and we're running.
I'm walking up and applauding.
Verso, your breath surges back into your body. It feels like you haven't had a chance to breathe. You're suddenly on your knees, the ground digging in, even past the armor. You can feel everything so intensely. You feel love and hate and sadness and joy all at once. And eventually everything fades away. Including the body.
Clean up.
I'm gonna look to where it was before. Rest easy,
There is-
Roland.
There is blood. There is a sword. And that is all that is left.
Well, his poleaxe.
Blade. That is all that is left.
I'm going to retrieve the weapons.
Well
And then
done.
I hear the clapping. Well, hello, fellow traveler.
I'm assuming that by this point, we've set each other's stuff off. Am I right, Jen?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still like, maybe he's here for the LARP.
Good tomorrow. Good.
Jason, Timothy, what are you guys doing? Have you, like, gotten the fuck out?
I'm running with the kid.
After being scooped up again, Timothy just kind of crosses his arms in mid-carry.
Outing.
Jason, we need to have a talk.
Yeah, we're not calling the cops on this one because they're never going to believe any of that shit. That's fine.
Verso.
That's fine. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, we need to talk.
Verso. Jason, Timothy, Bjorn. Just, it seems like feet from where you just were. Winding your way through the LARP, the event, the people. So close you can feel it in your bones. An explosion is triggered.
I didn't do this one.
How big?
Large. Shrapnel and debris and fiery shreds fly everywhere from right about where that royal tent was located. There's screams, there's smoke, and there's panic. And there is the end of this week's episode.
Yay!
Yay!
Well done.
Continue.
Like, I know that we didn't do a whole lot on our side, but I was more than happy to sit back and just let you two go, because that was.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
was great.
You did such a good job. Everybody did. Everybody always does. Hey, it's my favorite part of the night, where people say nice things about each other.
Oh, I wonder who's going to get all of these.
Prop 6 o'clock.
Weird.
Hey, let's start with Artie. Who would you like to give your props to, Artie? And why?
God dang it. I'm loving the characters already. I barely even thought about it. Oh god. God. We're gonna God. We're gonna give it to the freaking little kid Glandizzle, because I don't know your name yet. Little Timmy.
Yep.
For for being a troublesome little shit, because as soon as the explosion went off, you're like, it wasn't me.
I was minding my own business.
I'm
was
right
eating
here
a
in your
turkey
arms.
leg happily.
Mateo. DM Daddy.
I'm probably gonna go also with Glandizzle, mostly for the whole like, it's like just fully playing everything off. It's like, no, Jason, no, like that there isn't anything weird. No, Jason, this is like just a LARP event. I'm like, and finally, lightning storm's like, okay, so listen,
Cat's out of the bag.
Listen, man.
we should probably talk.
Jason might need, special help if I try to play this one off again.
Perfect. Glendizzle.
It's gotta go to Artie, because this whole the one that got me the best was picking up the coconuts.
Mistake.
It's a classic, and Jen, also you did yours amazingly. Your side was up. Like I could have let y'all just go all night and then sat here happily.
Beautiful. Heck yeah, Artie. And finally,
Yeah.
Chef.
I have to give it to Artie for both the game's first decapitation and the fact that just the roleplay during the LARP and the trying so hard and not, and the trying so hard and not, and trying so hard and not.
It was amazing.
And-
He'll
and-
go all in on this if he really wants to relive the glory days, but then he's gotta actually kind of, actually
You were this
be
close.
sociable.
You were this close to taking home a maiden, and, well, a maid anyway. This close to taking home a maid, and you're like, no, RPG above all.
Be gone, thought.
Beautiful.
Hey, don't say be gone, just say someone else. We need to share, they're a valuable resource.
Great job, everybody. I love you so much. Hey, guess what?
We love
I'm not
you too.
responsible anymore. DM Daddy, take it away.
A big thanks to JenofThieves. I got to watch and listen as she planned things for this LARP, and her and I, for those that don't know, do LARP, and so the pure accuracy of unpaid volunteers, just bored and just be like, oh, okay, hold on. Oh, hello there, sir. Just spot on, very accurate, very good, very, very wonderful. Good job, Jen. Living your best life. Yep, so that was episode 2 of Highlander, where we had some game inception of LARP in our tabletop, and it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. We were joined tonight by Artie Do2 portraying Serverso. Bjorn Bjornsson, I know that's not his last name, but that's just what I'm calling him, played by Chef Corhall. Timothy Chamelet, portrayed by Glandizzle. And I was DM Daddy RPG, playing the normal human who's just what the fucking all over the place. If you like this and you want to be part of these shenanigans, come over to Discord. Jen is still recruiting for the villains of this game. So if
Can't be them all.
she can't do all the bad things. So if you would like to join us on these escapades for a session, maybe 2, join our Discord, reach out to Jen, and come be a bad guy against one of these immortals and try to take their head. Or just try to kill me, a normal, hapless human. Let's see here. YouTube, if you have no idea what the hell's going on, join us over on YouTube where you can watch episode 1 and just be like, oh, this is amazing, because it is. You know how I know it is? Because the game designer for this game watched our video and left us comments. The person who made these books. So yeah, I think we're doing all right if the game designer okays it. And of course, also there is Patreon. If you want to support these shenanigans, if you want to help us with the buying of books, buying of merch, etc., 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 please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon is gets you a lot of cool things: credits on our YouTube videos, merch, slots and games, free Patreon redeems that you saw a lot of people using to give Artie cares today. So much. I'm not.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if Artie could already pick another feat. Wouldn't know.
It's gonna be really close if she can't. Yeah.
We will be back on Friday with more Werewolf the Apocalypse, Rise of the Phoenix. Then Saturday we have our X-Men themed mask game, where lot of ratchet stuff happens. And of course, Sundays is Highlander, Call to Arms, ran by JenofThieves. I hope everybody has a fantastic work week. We'll see you next time we come around. But in the meantime, just remember, Daddy loves you.